Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Cool. Hey, from the audience, I got my questions, but theirs are always more fun. Allie in Texarkana, she remembers you from Austin days. She says, I love when Luke is on the show. Do you have a fun Austin, Texas story from your time with the Texas Stars? Something real quick.
Well, I'm still the all-time penalty minute and fight leader with the Texas Stars. So I started my career there. 4 years, 19 to 22 age. Some of my fondest memories were made in Cedar Park, Texas.
It is a grand town. From BW in Edmonton says, pardon me, Luke, who was the toughest hockey fighter you faced and hardest body checker?
Oh, good questions. The fighter part, I've never felt, still to the day, anyone as strong as Brian McGrattan. And I fought him my first battle of Alberta in Calgary, center ice at the Saddle Dome. And when he grabbed onto my collar, I had never felt something like that in my life. He had this ability to move me around anywhere he wanted to go. And I remember just having an internal dialogue, just kind of hang in here, breathe, stay in there. But there was nobody like Big Earn, I'll tell you that much. Hitter.
Those are the best. Yeah.
But Dustin Byfuglien, anyone that has seen the YouTube clip of me get hit by Dustin Byfuglien, and I did a full 180, there was nobody like him in hockey, especially when he got moving. And when I tried to hit him multiple times, it was just like bouncing off a brick wall.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Are you still watching the World Juniors with Canada out? That's a no from me, dog. No. And now I feel bad because I have it on in the house only because Serena's watching it. If you can believe she's that gal, and she was all studied up going into this tournament, she's watching it all. I only have it on in the house, but if it was up to me, it would be a no.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to the RP Show. Come on up inside. We're live on Game Plus Television as always. WQEE Radio and the streams. As you see, I'm in the South Florida, where the site of the biggest game in Week 18, I think, in the NFL, will be contested on Sunday night. The Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. I'm looking forward to a football chat today. Football lovers rejoice. Although we will open with hockey, and you'll see in a minute. Darren Moose DuPont joining us. He's in Toronto, which they tell me is an NFL town. And we're ready to go. There is a lot of CFL news today. I'll tell you that the text line's open, 902-518-3033. And, we have Gus Frerotte in hour one, Clark, right? And Jim Barker in hour two? Okay. Yes, we did not clarify that this morning, but these are the guests. Gus Frerotte and Jim Barker will be joining us today. And Moose, what's got your football focus today? What league, what level, what?
Little bit of everything, actually. You know, I'm seeing on my timeline CFL news popping a little bit. I'm seeing, obviously the NFL weekend. I'm a little less. Today is the weekend that we put, our teams to rest that aren't in the playoffs. So kind of done, flush, the season's over, and then I'll focus on the playoffs and be excited. But I'm kind of more geared up for Monday's CFP final. I know we'll talk about that probably more on Monday, but I'm more excited for that than anything right now.
That's coming up in our Quick Six show topics on this Football Friday. Pardon me again, Clark, is Jim Barker in the next segment, like segment 2 coming up where he normally is? Okay, so we got to get it. We got to pick it up. Let's go. Can you hit the Quick Six show horn, please, Director Jordan? And we'll quit Mickey Mousin'. We're going to open with NHL leftovers, okay? Because we are on Canadian television, at least anchored out of Toronto, Game Plus. as I mentioned. Not the scores on a 13-game NHL evening. No, the All-Stars. People talking about this, and it's a big deal. Maple Leafs center Austin Matthews, Oilers center Connor McDavid, and Blackhawks rookie Connor Bedard are among the headliners for the NHL's All-Star teams unveiled last night. Matthews leads the NHL with 30 goals so far this season. Connor Bedard, the number 1 overall pick from Chicago, leads the Blackhawks and all rookies with 33 points. The 18-year-old North Vancouver, BC product is becoming the youngest player in NHL All-Star history. He just continues to make the news and make history. Darren, in late September, when I said he might be the best player on Chicago already, I didn't really mean it. That was a tongue-in-cheek comment. Maybe Bedard's their best player. It ain't even close. It's fun to see what he's doing, isn't it?
So much fun to watch what he's doing in Chicago, and to be the youngest player, I believe, ever into an All-Star game. That's another feather in the cap. He's always been somebody who's just going to knock down the walls and continue to overachieve, even when the expectations are sky high. So, yeah, I'll be fun to watch him in the All-Star game and see if if we get a taste of Connor Bedard and Connor McDavid maybe somehow playing together would be kind of cool.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been around this a long time. Maybe this is a scout's son talking, but people are going to think, oh, once he gets around the All-Stars, he's going to really be exposed. No, he'll probably be better, because he's one of those guys that when he's surrounded with better players, he becomes better. Some guys sink in that environment. He won't. He'll shine. He always has. And I saw Ryan from Saratoga, New York, writing in, or Albany, and he says he's heading down to New Jersey tonight to watch the Blackhawks and the Devils and Connor Bedard. The guy sells tickets. He's got chutzpah, as does Connor McDavid. He's got 53 points on the year. Montreal center Nick Suzuki, Ottawa Senators left winger Brady Tkachuk were named to the East. In the West, Vancouver defenseman Quinn Hughes, Jets goalie Connor Hellebuck, and Flames center Elias Lindholm all making the West squad. Before we turn it right around now to football in a second, can I ask you this? How do you feel about every NHL team having a representative? Because I'm married to that concept, and clearly the NHL is too, because they still have that. Boone Jenner's there from Columbus. Thomas Hertl's there from San Jose. You going to tell me that certain players did reasons than them? And I know the fan vote's still to come, but you got to have a player from every team. You do. That's what I think. But not everybody thinks that. Do you?
I've seen a lot of pushback online about that exact thing, obviously, since the All-Stars were announced. I do. I think there should be an All-Star from every team. I think it's important because every team has somebody who would be considered a superstar in the league. Is it Boone Jenner in Columbus? No. Is he the most deserving of that group? Probably, But Gaudreau, I think, is considered a superstar, even if he's having a down year. They've got players. They've got talent. The issue is I think it's 10 of the top 20 scorers in the National Hockey League not in the All-Star game. Has McDavid been the best Oiler this year? Probably not. Probably the most deserving would be a guy like Zach Hyman, who's been their guy all year. Draisaitl. Where's William Nylander, who's having a career year? There's a lot of superstars off this list, which is tough, but I like the rule. I think the rule is still good.
John Ohm checking in early from Winnipeg. He says, I'm excited to see Connor Bedard in the All-Star game, and says, I want representation from every team. Boom. Brett Taylor writes in. He says, Finland's wheels fell off at the World Juniors. Crazy finish with 2 ends. Czechs won 8-5. Serena was hooting and hollering from the living room. I wasn't watching because I was sticking to my thing that I'm not watching now that they're out. Natasha from Winnipeg writes in, and she says, Happy Friday, Ron. Autocorrect got her. NHL All-Stars need all teams involved. Keeps it fun for the guys out there. From Jake Hughes in Calgary, says it's important, but the All-Star game is a joke. It is, but it is what it is. It's a necessary evil. And gather around, kids. Let me tell you something. I hope everybody's noticed what a bouncy, happy mood I've been in of late. It's because I've let a lot of things go. Stuff like this. We're never going back to what it used to be. in All-Star games to the good old days. You're all saying the NHL All-Star game's a joke. In a lot of ways it is. They've made changes this year for the Toronto one to make it better from what it was here last year in Sunrise. But gather around, kids. Let me tell you a story about the Western Hockey League when we used to have the Eastern Conference versus the Western Conference, and every team was represented, and fans would come in, and we'd pack the barns. Fans would come in from all across Western Canada, the Pacific Northwest, and the United States. Yeah, and we would have luncheons the day of the game, and we'd bring in a guest speaker like Dennis Hull, who we had to open the barley in the hotel so he could get his wine. And by the time he was speaking, his teeth were all stained from red wine, and he was making inappropriate jokes on the mic. And the head coach of the Western Conference, Brent Pedersen, called Regina a jerkwater town and said the All-Star games were a waste of time. That all happened. And it was awesome. We're not going back to those times, unfortunately. But don't cry because it was over. Smile because it happened. We're going to move on to point two, which is week 18 games in the National Football League. And we're not going to play Deal or No Deal right now because we don't have time for our exclusive betting partner, Bet Regal. But I was writing it down with the point spreads from our official betting partner. And although this is a throwaway weekend for some teams and some games are junk, Darren, I'm sure you've done a little bit of research. Like the Patriots-Jets game, bad. Eagles-Giants, and Eagles, they've already cooked their goose. I don't think that's that big of a game. But there are some big ones, like Tampa Bay, for instance. If Tampa Bay wins at Carolina, they clinch the South. And who would have thought that would happen? There's some big game. And then the one here. I said I was going to spend more time on it today than yesterday. Buffalo at Miami. If there was ever a better illustration that it's a marathon, not a sprint, it's this. I can't even turn on the radio or the news because it's too depressing. Tyreek Hill's house burned down. Bradley Chubb, the sack leader for the Dolphins, this season's done because he tore his ACL last week in Baltimore. They're crying. It's all negative, Darren. Their best season in 20 years, and now they're just saying we suck. The Bills are even favored on the road here in Miami Sunday night in prime time. The Dolphins are the underdogs at home. See what I'm saying? You got to keep that even pace if you can, but people and the fans and they just can't do it.
Well, and it was the opposite in Buffalo early in the year. They're thinking if they have to move on from Josh Allen, if he can't be the guy. And as the season rolled on, they're like, this guy is an MVP. And now when the Pro Bowl rosters get announced, you talk about snubs. You know, that's a big snub that Josh Allen is sitting outside the Pro Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is in the Pro Bowl. And they've had kind of opposite seasons in terms of numbers and statistics. Josh Allen's probably more deserving. So, yeah, they're favorites. We kind of talked about them being favorites in the game against Dallas, talking about the Bills, and a little shocked about that. But the odds makers, once again, have it right, and as Buffalo rolls in for a chance to win the division, what a kind of tailspin it's been for the Dolphins a little bit. A team with tons of talent that can still win a Super Bowl. That's how tight the NFL is.
Yes, and I guess now would be a good time to tell you our poll question today for Key Auto Group is this. And by the way, at Key Auto Group, we're safety, experience, peace of mind with our comprehensive multi-inspections. Visit keyautogroup.ca for automotive excellence. It is who will go further in the NFL playoffs, the Miami Dolphins or the Dallas Cowboys? And I appreciate Carlos in Indianapolis for sending us this question yesterday because I thought it was a good one. I kind of need to recuse myself because I live here in Miami and I cheer for the Cowboys historically. I'm just too close to it. I'm not unbiased. So I voted for the Cowboys because that's my team and I want them to go further. 60% of respondents saying that it will be the Cowboys that go further. They're having a hell of a season. Dak is having a MVP season at quarterback for Dallas. But they're not out of the woods yet. Who are you voting for, Miami or Dallas, Darren? Who's going further in the NFL playoffs?
I'm going to vote Dallas. I see Dallas in that NFC Championship game against the 49ers. I don't know that Miami's going to be in the AFC Championship. I think this weekend's game is going to go a long way on that. I think they're going to have a tougher road to get there. So I'll vote Dallas. couple things I saw. CeeDee Lamb, did he not set the Cowboys record for yards and touchdowns in a season, passing Michael Irvin? So, I mean, they're doing a lot of great things. You mentioned Dak's MVP type season. So I'll pick Dallas to go further than Miami.
Regular season makes all-stars. Playoffs make legends. Where do I start? You want to talk Cowboys? You want to compare Super Bowl rings and Michael Irvin's 3? Obviously, you know how I feel about Troy Aikman. He feels like family to me. And remember when they were comparing Patrick Mahomes to Aikman? And remember what he said? Troy can literally say whatever he wants. He's that kind of guy that could fart into the microphone and get a standing ovation. Nobody would care because it's Troy Aikman. But he said, talk to me when he's got 3 Super Bowl rings. Well, he's got 2. So are we starting the conversation, Troy? He's getting close. Kevin the Medium has checked in. The irrational fan from the West Coast. He didn't hear Jeff, the Stamps fan, trash-talking him earlier in the week when he said Kevin is the biggest homer of any sports fan he knows. That's saying a lot. But there's some fun stuff on the NFL Week 18. We'll get into a lot more of it next hour. And because it is a Football Friday and Darren is a CFL guy, as am I, we're going to spend way more time on this next segment with Jim Barker. And if you have questions for our football analyst presented by EMJ Marketing, get them in now. Get them in now so I can read them in the break. But here's your CFL news today. There's a lot. Bo Levi Mitchell has agreed to what looks like about a 50% pay cut with Hamilton. The Edmonton Elks released quarterback Taylor Cornelius ahead of a big roster bonus he was due. And 3, the Saskatchewan Roughriders releasing veteran outside linebacker Derek Moncrief, which I think is unfortunate because his contract was up anyways. I guess they must have, released him because of other opportunities. I don't know. But of that news, that's just off the top of my head. It's nice to have the CFL on the news.
It is. It is great to have the CFL in the news. Unfortunately, guys getting released ahead of roster bonuses, we don't love that. But Aaron Grimes, another guy who's going to be leaving Edmonton, and we don't know where he's going to land. So there's going to be some movement as we head towards free agency in February. It's exciting, and it is good to have the CFL in the news. And the Bo news, meaning he's coming back for another year, not going to the broadcasting world yet. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out in Hamilton too. So fun stuff to follow.
Well, it's fun. And listen, it is January, folks, if you haven't noticed. So we do talk hockey about 4 days out of the week, but we save Fridays for football. So whatever you guys want to talk, we haven't got to the national championship yet, but we will. Michigan, Washington on Monday night. The CFL stuff, like with Bo, when he came in garbage time in the playoff game last year for the Hamilton Tiger Cats against Montreal, and what he said afterwards, basically, if you're not going to play me in the biggest game of the year, what does that tell you about my future here? Didn't we all think he was done? I thought he was done.
100%.
And I should not take people at their word, especially right after an emotional game. You shouldn't do that. So it's a little surprising to me that Bo is coming back because he's the one that said it. So anyways, we got a lot to get to with Jim Barker next, and Moose will join us in hour 2. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
It is a Football Friday, and our football analyst, Jim Barker, joins us next. We are live on the Game Plus television network. That's all across Canada on national television, also on the air in 31 states. We're on the radio in Atlanta, WQEE, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Live.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
All proceeds go to Telemiracle 48, supporting Saskatchewan's charity. Visit telemiracle.com to learn how the Kinsman Foundation is helping people every day in the 306 to improve their independence and quality of life. Do it now. Get in early. Okay, with Jim Barker joining us now, our football analyst, there's a lot of roads we can go down, Jim. If you don't mind, we've got NFL Week 18, we got the Natty Monday night, and we got some big CFL news today. Bo Levi taking a 50% pay cut to stay in the Hammer. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with the CFL, because I don't think we get enough, that CFL gets enough of. This is a really interesting time. I mean, we got one more week left before that January 15th date when payments are due. Now, you said Taylor Cornelius has been cut. I've heard it's just that's still hasn't happened for sure. I don't know if it's because they're going down the McLeod-Bethel-Thompson route and waiting to see what happens there, because he's going to have some options. There are some teams that'll be interested in him, no question. Obviously, Hamilton comes off the board by, coming to an agreement with Bo Levi, which I was happy to see. I think that's a good move for both sides. But Ottawa, we don't know what they're going to do with Mazzoli, and are they going to go after McLeod? Tommy Condell, the new offensive coordinator, had him in Toronto, so knows him well. Obviously, Edmonton has arisen as which shocked me. I'm going to be honest with you, Rod. That one shocked me that Edmonton was going to do that. I mean, obviously Cornelius, they have to make the move on him from a money standpoint. It'll cost them $100,000 more if they don't cut him by next Monday, because he has $100,000 on Monday, and then he has a guarantee of $100 on his salary. And I originally thought that $100 could be counted as his $100, but he can't. So if they pay him the $100, they still owe him another $100 on the guarantee that went through the last collective bargaining agreement. So, yeah, it's an interesting time, and McLeod Bethel Thompson kind of throws an interesting wrench into the entire thing as to what's going to happen. Our team's going to be wanting to go on Drew Brown and putting their eggs in that basket. In Ottawa, you have Sean Burke going into his third year, basically 4 wins a year. It's important for him to win. Does he want to go with a Drew Brown or McLeod Bethel Thompson that's a little more set in terms of what he's done in this league? The more interesting one is Edmonton. I mean, they've gone down the Trey Ford path. Ron Lancaster used to tell me, if you choose to take a Canadian quarterback, you're going to be have a lot of decisions made for you. I think it could be a potential disaster if he goes out and signs him and starts off poorly with McLeod Bethel Thompson and Trey Ford sitting on the bench. There are a lot of people in the media, a lot of people I work with that believe Trey Ford is the next great Canadian quarterback, and that he deserves an opportunity to get a chance to play. So if you don't play him, like I say, the media backlash could be quite high. So that was just really interesting to me that they were, thinking about going down that path. So I don't know. It's I find the whole situation really, really interesting. And then you have Streveler, who worked out with the Bears yesterday, who's another potential starting quarterback that could be out there. So it's interesting times.
Well, this is a direct quote because I stole it from 3downnation.com. The Edmonton Elks are releasing quarterback Taylor Cornelius, according to a report from TSN's Farhan Lalji. I got to ask you this, because you've negotiated so many contracts in your time. Why do they put these offseason bonuses in? What are their benefits? Because if I was a player, it's just setting you up to be cut ahead of the bonus. That's what we hear every winter. Why is it so important to have those in the deals?
Well, agents want them in because it forces a team's hand. If they didn't have to pay Taylor Cornelius $100,000 until April, or maybe report and pass when camp starts, he then would be kind of left in the lurch at the last minute with nowhere to go. At least what he's going to know is, I'm going to know which direction they want to go. That's why most of these quarterbacks have these January 15th dates, or high-priced players. They have these January 15th dates because they want to know, am I in this team's plans? Because if you get cut, I mean, a popular thing that used to happen in this league a lot, and it's not happening as much, but they get to training camp and then they take a high-priced guy and say, listen, we want you here, but you're going to have to take a lot less money. And at that point, he can't go out and negotiate a deal because everybody's rosters are filled. So I guarantee you there's not a GM that wants to put a payment like that in. There's not one. That all comes from the player and him wanting to know, what direction is this team going? Am I a part of their plans?
Camper27 watching writes in and says, great question. Thank you. I pride myself on that, and I've always wanted to ask somebody that knew, and you're the guy, Jim. So, hey, this Bo Levi thing, did you ever think with what he said after that playoff game that there was any doubt he was going to come back? Or was this just a formality that he would be back? You know,
Well, anything you hear a player,
obviously.
Yeah, anything you hear a player or coach say immediately after a game like that, especially and with what happened to Bo Levi, I take it with a grain of salt. The bottom line is they've changed head coaches. There's major changes that have happened. Now, the guy that coached him and dealt with him is the guy who's now the head coach. So obviously they came to an agreement. I know they had some issues during the season, some things of probably the coach wondering whether or not Bo was too ingrained in his ways to be able to do things the way he needed them done, and Bo wondering whether or not he could do the things that coach was going to be asking him to do when he's done it another way for so many years. So obviously they've sat down, they've gone through it all, and I think that Bo he's smart enough to understand the problems that happened to him this year and that they can't afford to pay him what they did. Now, I'm sure he's got escalators in there and things that can get him back up in that ballpark if he has the kind of year that they need him to have. So, again, it's one of those things that I would never listen to a player right after a game because they're emotional and they say the first thing in their head. It's why I have never in my life gone on Twitter or any of those things, because I'm emotional and I'll say something that I shouldn't say. And once you have a chance to think about it, you say, wow, that's probably not the smartest thing for me to say. So I'm glad they worked it out. I think Bo Levi is good for the league. I love him at TSN, but his time's not there yet. He still has time on the field. I believe that the match with Scott, if they can get on the same page, can be fantastic. And it's going to be interesting to watch this whole season. I mean, I can't wait for training camps to get started because of all the storylines, and there's going to be so much movement in free agency, and it's going to be an exciting CFL season.
Let's take a swing at our poll question today for Kyoto Group, and that is who goes further in the NFL playoffs, the Miami Dolphins or the Dallas Cowboys? They're both good teams, but they both have their problems. Who do you think's still playing in the end, or at least goes the first?
I think Dallas. I like their defense better than I like Miami's. I think Miami's solid. Miami's got great athleticism on offense. I mean, this game tomorrow, like for Buffalo, it could very well be a win or you're out situation. You know, if the Titans, I think it's the Jaguars, or if the Jaguars happen to win, I don't know the exact scenario, but there's two teams that would have to win. They would be completely out of it. Now, you want to talk about a game that's important, the chance to win the division in Miami, the last game of the season. That's pretty exciting. And I think, honestly, Buffalo needs this. I really do. I think that Buffalo still has questions. They just play like they have questions. You watch Stephon Diggs run routes and some of his body language. You just get the feeling they have questions. They need to find themselves again. And this is the kind of game they can do that. I think the last couple of weeks they've played okay. They've played good enough to win. But this game will be to go on the road in Miami in a game they maybe have to win or they're out of the playoffs. Again, it's going to make them battle tested. And, it's to me, it's one of the best games of the year is that game that's right in your backyard. So you need to get over there.
Yeah, I go to one game a year, and I've already gone. But I'll tell you what, with the bowl games, the college football playoff semifinals, what doozies. Michigan goes to overtime, beats Alabama in a humdinger. And then Texas almost comes back against Washington. Great games. What do you think of Washington and Michigan Monday night?
Well, I think Washington losing Dylan Johnson, the running back, I think that's a huge loss for them. But that offensive line's so good. They're so athletic. It's as good a receiving core at the college level as I've seen. I mean, I know this is Farhan Lalji's team, and he loves them. And we watched them play one night when he was in the studio with us. So I got a little insight into a lot of their players. And they are, I mean, they tried to find a way to lose it. They seemed to in the last, at the end of games, I don't know how they got themselves in that situation. They were coasting, and then all of a sudden, Texas is on the 6-yard line, with a chance to win the football game. And again, and back to the whole college playoff thing, Rod, because we talked about it, and I said Florida State, I thought got pooped. That in the way I look at the way it should be, Florida State should have been in. But the way they did it and it came out, nobody can argue with. I mean, it was exactly what college football playoffs should be. 2 phenomenal games against teams that were very different, just like Washington, Michigan, very different teams, which we also, Rod, have to talk about Jim Harbaugh because some exciting things are going on with him that we talked about. But, it was just, to me, it was one of the best evenings that New Year's night of football. And I was up till 1:30 watching to the very end that I've ever seen, ever. And again, can the championship game, Washington, Michigan, match it? I think it can, because I don't think either team is the kind of team that's going to get blown out. I think both quarterbacks are efficient in different ways. Penix is such an accurate passer, and McCarthy is a guy who just can find a way to make something out of nothing. Corum is such a great running back, and now the Washington running back's out. Both offensive lines are solid. Both defenses are solid, not great, but solid. I just think it's going to be a fantastic football game.
Well, we don't have a lot of time left, but you mentioned Harbaugh. I'm pulling for him. I loved him as a player. He's getting forced out of the Big Ten. That's the word I hear. In college football overall, I don't know why. They just don't like him. And I know he'll go to have success in the NFL. But what's your read on the elder Harbaugh?
Where did I say he would go 3 weeks ago? Everybody was saying the Chargers. I felt like the Raiders. And now.
Oh, you said Vegas? Okay.
Yes. And now put things together. So his team's playing in Pasadena, California, at the Rose Bowl. And during that week, he gets together with Don Yee, who is, one of the premier agents in the NFL, real good friend of mine. Because I'm from Pasadena, so I know Don and have known him for years. They get together, and he's going to become Jim's agent. Now, Don Yee was also Tom Brady's agent. Tom Brady is rumored as becoming a part owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. He's being rumored as being that guy. To me, it all ties together. It's like it's already a done deal that Harbaugh is going to be in Las Vegas. I think when they fired McDaniels, they also fired their GM, and I thought they want to allow Harbaugh to pick his own guy to be that if that's what he wants. I just think it's been a done deal for a while.
Done deal.
Well, this has been fantastic. And when you get these scoops, you forward them to us, not those TSN guys, Jim. You're with us every week now.
This is not a scoop. This is strictly me.
It's a rumor.
Trying to deduce.
Yeah.
There isn't
I
one
got you.
thing.
I got you. Yeah, that's what I say too. That's what I say too. Okay, thank you, Jim. We'll see you in a week. Enjoy the games.
All right, Rod.
Our weekly chats with Jim Barker, our football analyst, brought to you by EMJ Marketing. They'll provide the perfect keynote speaker for your event. Look up Joe at emjmarketing.com. Sports update coming up and viewer takeover. We're live on Game Plus Television, WQEE Radio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Live.
IKS Game Day wishes to congratulate the city of Estevan and Affinity Place on their brand new center ice display. This state-of-the-art score clock features 5 LED faces with full motion graphics, scoring integration, and our new Halo mounting system. If it's time for an upgrade, let us show you how to deliver the best fan experience. You can find us at IKSGameDay.com.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
RP Show continues on a Football Friday, and man, was that a great chat with Jim Barker. It always is. We've got a lot of news, breaking news, both football-wise and otherwise, here on this Friday. From the Canadian Football League, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have granted linebacker Derek Moncrief his release. I am told you can expect him to stay in the West Division. Quarterback Bo Levi Mitchell has agreed to a roughly 50% pay cut to stay with the Hamilton Tiger Cats in 2024. And the Edmonton Elks are releasing quarterback Taylor Cornelius ahead of a $100,000 roster bonus. Jim Barker, last segment, explained why they put those bonuses in these contracts. I still don't understand it. Go back and watch it again. From the hockey world, the Winnipeg Jets aim for 5 straight wins tonight when they visit the Anaheim Ducks. In NHL play, Winnipeg is coming off a 2-1 victory over San Jose last night in the first of a 3-game road trip. That's 10 losses in a row for the Sharks. Elsewhere, Carolina is at Washington, and Chicago will be at New Jersey. The first 32 NHL All-Stars were revealed on Thursday night. Leafs star Austin Matthews was among the headliners for the East, being the league's leading goal scorer at 30 goals. In the West, Oilers star Connor McDavid and Chicago Blackhawks rookie sensation Connor Bedard highlighted the group. The sports updates brought to you by Common Crown Brewing Company, turning your everyday common beer into a unique and exceptional experience. Visit commoncrown.ca. And for Landmark Cinemas, in theaters now, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Here's the story. When an ancient power is unleashed, Aquaman must forge an uneasy alliance with an unlikely ally to protect Atlantis and the world from irreversible devastation. Starring Ben Affleck, Jason Momoa, Dolph Lundgren, and Nicole Kidman. Remember her? I feel like she was Taylor Swift before there was Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying? 902-518-3033 is the number to reach us here in the studio. And there's been a lot going on. Sober Carpenter, non-alcoholic craft beers. They do bring you our CFL coverage during the season. Ask for them by name at your local beer, wine, and spirit store. Sober Carpenter. You see, I don't have it up on my set anymore because I drank it all. Make a note of that, Rod. Go get more Sober Carpenter today. They sell a Total Wine. They sell it at Total Wine and Spirits here in South Florida. Herb is watching in Melville, Sask, home of the millionaires, Ron Hextall and Tim Chevalier. Herb writes in and says, there's a commercial saying TSN doesn't respond to texts in a negative manner. Please, tomorrow on your show, say how corporate Canada controls TV here. It's so frustrating. Unbelievable.
How about that?
Clark, were you listening to that? Because I really have no idea what he's talking about. Do you know what he's talking about? Nah, Clark doesn't. Clark, move on. Move along. It's Canada, dude, where they don't post news to Facebook. Like, when are you going to figure it out? Not you, Herb in Melville. I mean all of Canada. And this ain't a political show. That's where we thank you, Clark, for the advice to move on. He ain't just a pretty face, Clark Monroe.
Hell yes.
BW in Edmonton writes in and says, hashtag squirrel moment. He says, I think the next UFL expansion, they should look at where US CFL teams were. They are already in 3 former CFL locations. Listen, they just need to play a damn game. Here's my best Jim Mora impression where we'll say, expansion? You want to talk about expansion? Let's just play a damn game. Talk about expansion. United Football League. My God, I'm surprised. I'm shocked if they even make it to the first week. And I've become that guy. Hey, I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong. It doesn't happen very often, so it's easy to keep track of. But the Rock, the XFL thing, I kind of go back and forth on the CFL. I don't like a lot of things the CFL does, but in this moment, I'll say they were right, that they should not have partnered with The Rock. Now, I look forward, not back. But when you look at that 2020 season being wiped out in the Canadian Football League, I still think the commissioner threw out a red herring, a smokescreen, and I bet Randy Ambrosie that they were talking to The Rock about talking. And it annoys me that I fell for it. Good on him. Jay in Winnipeg writes in and he says, enough of all this nonsense, RP. When's the whole show going to be dedicated to your Winnipeg Jets? You already have a show. It's called Winnipeg Sports Talk for that. We mentioned the Jets winning at San Jose, and they're at Anaheim tonight. You know when we'll dedicate the whole show to the Winnipeg Jets? When they're in the Stanley Cup final. Write it down. When the Winnipeg Jets make it to the Stanley Cup final, we'll do a whole show on it, and maybe we'll even go to it. We're going to take a timeout, and it's going to be all viewer takeover next. It's a Football Friday here. So many of you love it. Get your comments and questions in now. Moose returns in hour 2, and Gus Frerotte is going to be with us as well. We're live on the Game Plus Television Network, WQEE Radio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Live.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Okay, you are in luck. This is an audience takeover segment the whole way because we've already got the sports update out of the way for our friends at Common Crown and Landmark Cinemas. Fake Gainer writing in on the Sober Carpenter text line 902-518-33. Sober Carpenter says, hey, hypothetical, you can only keep one. NCAA Bowl season or the World Juniors tournament? Which one are you keeping? Signed El Sasco from the Sketch, sent via BlackBerry. Does BlackBerries work underground? How about that?
How about that?
Well, it's the World Juniors. It's the World Juniors, Clark. Come on. That's a historical thing, and that's just me. There's a lot of people going to say, no. It's got to be the bowl season. And does that include the college football playoff, which next year will be expanding to 12 teams from its current 4? Nah, it's World Juniors for me. You know, it's not a big shock probably for a lot of you now that you've seen enough of Serena on the air. She's that gal watching every game at the World Juniors. including this morning's bronze medal game where the Czechs beat Finland 8-5. Came back to do it. Finland was up 5-4 with like 5 minutes to go. Czechia comes back and wins at 8-5, but she's plotting out the future. Next year's World Juniors in Ottawa. The year after that in Minnesota. Did you know that? It was just announced Minnesota. She told me that. I had heard, and I guess it was fake news, that it was going to be in Seattle. And then after that, do we know? Oh, back to Canada. I don't know. I called the World Juniors games. I haven't called a bowl game yet. Still got a lot of years left in this career, but historically for me, it's you got to have the World Juniors. So Jay Miller writes back and says, thankfully, I've never seen one of The Rock's films. Life is good. Hey, potato. I do feel like we try to keep it positive here. I really feel like that. We do. And I really like The Rock. I like his story. I like him. And I guess maybe I fell victim to the star power of The Rock. Well, it looked like the CFL was going to die, by the way, in 2020. What do we say? My good friend Jim Hobson, who's probably watching the show right now, the former president of the Riders, when you look back at what were historically bad decisions, he always said, well, it was the right decision at the time to not partner with The Rock. For them, I guess the CFL is out of the woods. I don't know. I would have liked to have seen it. I like growth. I like expansion. I like change. But I understand not everybody does. If anything, can we get the stats working? John says, I'm not sure why the Rough Riders released Derek Moncrief. Why? Another reason I can't stand this regime. Well, I've been speaking to the Moncrief camp, and they're saying Derek asked for his release. Does that change your opinion? Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, remember when everyone was fawning over The Rock and his ex? How their promotional skills would make the XFL a sure success? You're right, Jeff. I will allow you this time to make a victory lap on the whole thing. For sure. Jeff in Yorkton says, Rod, I would have loved for The Rock to be involved in the CFL, just not with the XFL. Well, the XFL was for sale, and the CFL was not. And The Rock bought them out of bankruptcy. He got a cheap deal on a team. 8 teams, actually. John Ohm says, Derek Moncrief gave so much to the Riders on and off the field. They don't care. 15 seconds, Clark says. Well, I can do that by breathing in and out. Deal or no deal next hour. More of all of this football talk and Gus Frerotte, too, after this brief pause. Stick around.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
IKS Game Day wishes to congratulate the City of Estevan and Affinity Place on their brand new center ice display. This state-of-the-art score clock features 5 LED faces with full motion graphics, scoring integration, and our new Halo mounting system. If it's time for an upgrade, let us show you how to deliver the best fan experience. You can find us at iksgameday.com.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Are you still watching the World Juniors with Canada out? That's a no from me, dog. No. And now I feel bad because I have it on in the house only because Serena's watching it. If you can believe she's that gal, and she was all studied up going into this tournament, she's watching it all. I only have it on in the house, but if it was up to me, it would be a no.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yeah. Kick back and let us take you into the weekend for the next hour of fun on what we call a Football Friday. I almost said football frivolity, and it's that too. I am in the sight of the biggest game of Week 18 in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. The poll question is, who will go further in the playoffs, the Dallas Cowboys or the Miami Dolphins? That's what tripped me up. The majority saying the Dallas Cowboys will go further. Thanks, guys, for throwing that up on the screen. Appreciate that. Let me tell you something about our friends at the Key Auto Group. You can buy with confidence knowing that they provide reports on all vehicles they sell. Get fully informed about your next vehicle by going to keyautogroup.ca. Let's bring the Moose in when you have a minute. I chuckled out loud because Moose is so much better at betting than me. Have you been accused of having a really good poker face, Darren? Like you and I are similar in a lot of ways, but we're different in a lot of ways too. I am the heart on the sleeve guy. How I'm feeling, you know, right? You've known me long enough to know that. You'll know how I'm feeling, but you're not like that. You, what do they say? Hold your cards closer to your vest. Have people said that you have a poker face, a good poker face?
I don't know if it's a good poker face, but you're right. Like, I do hold my cards pretty close. I don't delve a lot of info out. You know, I pride myself on listening more than talking and taking a moment, so you won't really know if I'm upset or not. But at the same time, I have a lot of I can't tell a lie. You know, if I lie, I can't hold the lie. You know, my face will give it away. So I feel like that's a good thing, even though it wouldn't be very handy at a poker table.
Well, then I might have it wrong, but again, you're really good at the betting, and I think this is hilarious that you posted your results from our Bet Regal breakaway bets last night at 8, 2, and 3, which ostensibly you were 8 and 5 when you think about it.
That's
but
right.
Did you back and watch? Did you go back and watch the show? Were you or you just remembered who you picked to win?
No, I went through the games and I'm like, I watched. I was like, okay, I was watching Florida Vegas. I'm like, oh, the Panthers won. I picked them, and oh yeah, okay. I was like, I think I won a few of these games on the game. So I went back on the list, and the ones 3 of the games I lost went to overtime. So I mean, that's why it looks a little better, a little neater at 8, 2, and 3 than it does at 8 and 5. But essentially, if I was putting money on it, yeah, it was 8 and 5, but 3 of them were in overtime or shootout.
Reason I bring this all up is Bet Regal's really loving us because we do talk a lot of betting on this show. Folks, have you seen the numbers? Are you following it? How much money is spent on sports betting? It's astronomical. It's unbelievable. And I know people don't like it, the talk, but I don't care. Because the betting companies are what's keeping us in business in a lot of ways. I got a call this afternoon. I'm sure I didn't tell you, with the founder of a betting company. This is hilarious. He's been ringing my phone off the hook for the last couple days. I think I told you what the betting company is, but if I didn't, it doesn't really matter. As soon as I'm off the air, I'm jumping in the Jeep and I'm driving to go meet my guy, Chris from the Bronx, for lunch at PDQ. Pretty sure Chris owes me. Right, Chris? He's the Giants fan who bets on the Giants all the time and always loses. So anyways, the guy from the betting company, I don't want to say which one, he was blowing up my phone this morning. And I was talking to you, Darren, this morning. And then Joe, I was busy. Couldn't take the call. Busy.
How about that?
So I said, hey, I'll be in the car from 2 till 3. It's going to take me an hour to go 5 miles this time of year in South Florida, just so you know, because all the northern snowbirds are here. That guy's like, I'll call you then. And the reason this has nothing to do with Bet Regal. He's trying to get in on the Cats and Bolts podcast, which everybody's talking about down here, or at least the hockey fans are talking about it down here in South Florida, because there's no other hockey show, and they love it. And we're currently sponsored by DraftKings, and DraftKings is up my ass about wanting to renew the deal already for next year. And the guy's like, no, just hold on. That's why I told you this sales business is interesting, very interesting, as is betting. So before we jump into the NFL Deal or No Deal for this hour, and by the way, I don't mind handling the sales when it's my own show and I'm talking to the founder of the company. That's easy then. It's when you got to go through the mid-level guys because a major pain in the ass. I'm not good at it. Are you in or are you not in? Rod, don't handle the sales. Okay. The CFL news today, Bo Levi Mitchell has restructured his contract to stay with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, a roughly 50% pay cut. We covered a lot of this in hour one, okay? Taylor Cornelius in Edmonton is getting his release from the Edmonton Elks as he is due a $100,000 bonus, I think this weekend or within the next week. And Derek Moncrief has been released. Saskatchewan Roughriders, the former LA Rams line, has been released. I've been in contact with the Moncrief camp, and they say that he asked for his release early so he can get a head start on his next football destination. So, again, we covered a lot of that last hour. And I don't know if you watched the Jim Barker interview or not, Darren, but I asked him, what's with these bonuses? I will tell anybody, if you missed hour one, go back and watch it, because Jim's won 5 Grey Cups as a coach and manager in the Canadian Football League, and I've never really understood, why do you even put these bonuses in the first place then? And Jim said the agents want them, the GMs don't, and that's where it came from. I'm going to move on to Deal or No Deal right now, unless you have a thought on those offseason bonuses, because I think it looks Bush League on the league when you hear so-and-so was cut, he was due a 6-figure bonus within days. I think it looks bad. You?
It does. It makes the teams look cheap. It really does. Gives the players some leverage, because if you don't pay it, well, I'm going to go now to the open market. So, away we go. So it does give the agents some flexibility for the better players, but it does. It makes the teams look cheap. Unfortunately, it does.
Okay. So you ready to play Deal or No Deal? I'm not putting the crown on. I put it on yesterday for top 5, bottom 5. So I'm not putting it on. It's here. It's here. I can't wear it all the time. So this is always fun, man, and we'll see how Darren does with the betting. This is where we set it all up. He's just good at it. Do you study enough? Yeah. What do you got?
No. Do I study enough? No. But if I follow trends, I read enough, kind of know what's going on. I don't just willy-nilly do it completely blind. But I did preface it by saying, I think that's how this works, right? You'll only hear me tweeting about it if I'm winning. If I go 0-15 this week in the NFL, you won't see me tweeting about it.
Oh, it's like my dad coming home from the casino, which he called the office. He'd be waving $100 bills, and as we say in Canada, brown ones. And he would go, "How much you want, Judy?" That was my mom. And she'd be like, "Oh, yeah, well, you're bragging about how much you won. How about yesterday? How much did you lose?" "We're not talking about that. How much do you want?"
Yeah, it's today. We're not talking about yesterday. Stop living in the past.
Yeah, we're not talking about exactly. John Schmeiser from Kansas City writes in, and he says, "It does make the league look bad. Surprised it's coming from the agents because the perception is that the teams are cutting players to save money." I just still don't really understand. I got to go back and watch the Jim Barker thing again. And listen, here's the thing about Jim. I love him, obviously, or he wouldn't be on this show. But he is that guy. He is that GM. He'll tell you they'd slit your throat in a second as a player to save a nickel. That's just a fact. What do they say? Great game, dirty business. So I'm glad. Well, of course, I said, we don't want it. I'm sitting to wonder if I even believe what Jim said. He's like, "It's not the teams that want it. It's the agents." Now, we got to go by what he says because the agents don't really talk about this stuff publicly. I wish they would. Anyways, let's go. Bet Regal very clearly getting their pub on this one. Darren, starts Saturday with a couple of games and some great games, by the way. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. The Steelers are favored by 3. Deal or no deal?
Yeah, because the Ravens have locked up first in the AFC. And the Steelers need to win to get into the playoffs. So they're going with Mason Rudolph, of all guys. I think the Steelers will win. I'll take the deal.
That's 2 of us. Also Saturday, this is my game of the week. Houston at Indianapolis. The winner clinches card berth. But it's the Texans that are favored on the road. 1 point points. Deal.
I'll take the deal. I think the Texans will win the AFC South.
I'm going to say no deal. The Atlanta Falcons at the New Orleans Saints. I feel like the loser of the game's coach gets fired. The Saints are favored by 3. Deal or no deal?
Deal there, too. I'll take all the favorites so far. I think the Saints win, and Arthur Smith will be the Titans' offensive coordinator next year.
Jacksonville at Tennessee, and the Jags are favored by 3.5.
I'll take that, too. Jags need to keep rolling into the playoffs. The Titans are auditioning rookies for next year.
Minnesota at Detroit. A Lions win would give them the most wins in franchise history at 12, and they're favored by 3.5. Deal or no deal?
This line should be bigger than that. I'd put all my chips in on the Lions this week.
Deal here, too. Jets at Patriots. Patriots favored by 2, and what they're saying might be Belichick's last game. Deal or no deal?
For that reason, I'll take the Patriots, and I'll go with them. I think they'll want to play well for Bill if it's his final game.
Buccaneers win at Carolina. They clinch the NFC South. They're favored by 4.5. Deal or no deal?
Again, low line. I think this is another one where you can push a lot of chips in on Tampa in this game to clinch the division.
It's a deal for me as well. Cleveland at Cincinnati. The Bengals are favored by 6.5. Deal or no deal?
Deal. Joe Joe Magic or whatever you want to call Joe Flacco and what's going on. I'll take them with the points too by a touchdown or more.
You're taking the Browns.
Yeah, the deal. Yeah.
Yeah, the Bengals are favored, so you're no deal for you.
Oh, the Bengals are favored.
No
I thought you said the Browns were favored.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the Browns.
I don't think I said that, but yeah. Seattle at Arizona. The Seahawks are favored by 3. Deal or no deal?
No deal here. Kyler Murray is playing really, really hard and playing well too.
I'll take the deal. Seahawks need it more. Chicago at Green Bay. I believe Packers win and they clinch. Bears are already out of it, so the Packers are favored by 3. Deal or no deal?
But the Bears already have the first overall pick courtesy of Carolina, so there's no need to tank, and they're playing good football. I'll take the Bears.
Okay. No deal from me. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no deal from either one of us.
No deal.
Eagles at Giants. Tommy Cutlets or T-Mobile. I don't even know who's starting for the Giants, the G-men. I'll have to ask Chris from the Bronx at lunch today. The Eagles favored by 5.5 on the road. Deal or no deal?
I think it's T-Mobile starting, and I'll take the Eagles. You got a deal from me. They need a get-right game going into the playoffs.
Same here. Rams at 49ers. Niners have already clinched, but they are favored by 4 anyway. Deal or no deal?
No deal. The Rams have been playing better. I think they need the win more. I'll take no deal here. I'll take the Rams.
It's a deal for me. Denver at Las Vegas, and I got to ask Gus Frerotte about this. The Broncos are still 8-8. Russ Wilson not playing. Raiders favored by 3. This game should be sponsored by Waste Management. They're both grease fires. Raiders favored by 3. Deal or no deal?
I'll take the deal. Russ is not playing because they don't want him to get hurt. If he gets hurt, they got to pay him a truckload of money. It's a contentious relationship. No, give me the Raiders. It is. Which problem is worse?
Okay.
Give me the Raiders.
Deal for both of us. Kansas City at the Chargers, but LA's favored by 3.5. Deal or no deal?
No deal. They have trouble even scoring touchdowns without Justin Herbert. So no deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. I think the Chiefs got a lot to figure out. And they'll try to take it out on the Chargers this week. Dallas at Washington. Cowboys favored by 13 points. They clinch the division if they win. Deal or no deal?
Deal. I think it's a 2-touchdown win for Dallas.
Yeah, and probably Ron Rivera's last game, I would think. For Washington and the game of the week, even Serena asked me who I thought wins. Bills at Dolphins Sunday night for the East title. And I can't decide. Bills are favored by 2.5. Deal or no deal?
Deal. If it was more than a field goal, I would go the other way. But you got a deal from me.
Yeah. Wheels falling off the fins. I'll take the deal as well. Is Gus Frerotte next or 2 segments from now, Clark? Oh, he's next segment. Okay, Moose, I think you're done. Gus Ferrotte's next. You have a great weekend. Enjoy the games.
You bet. Take care.
Pro Bowler Gus Frerotte joining us next. We got sports updates on the way, viewer takeover. It's a very busy hour, too, here on a Football Friday. We're live on Game Plus Television, WQEE Radio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Live.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss. But it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Okay, we're back, everybody. Football Friday continues, and have you heard? Start spreading the news. The Telemiracle 50/50 online 50/50 is live, and we're asking you to buy your tickets now at telemiracle5050.com. And listen, I'm going to be beating on this drum until we hit our fundraising goal. So the sooner we sell them out, then you're going to stop hearing me annoying you about it. You got to be over 18 years of age, though, and you have to physically be in the province of Saskatchewan to buy your tickets. We'll be selling them until February 23rd at 4 p.m. local time. The winner, of course, gets half the final jackpot total. That's how 50/50s work. All the proceeds going to Telemiracle 48, supporting Saskatchewan's charity. Visit telemiracle.com to learn how the Kinsman Foundation is helping people every day in Saskatchewan to improve their independence and quality of life. All right, producer Clark has told me that he's been in communication with Gus Frerotte, 17-year NFLer and Pro Bowler, and has relations from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Clark says he has no idea why Gus Frerotte has not logged in yet. So I'm going to read a couple of questions here from our audience. Kill a little time. Chad in Lethbridge watching says, do we think Tyreek Hill plays this weekend for the Dolphins? Sad news to see his house caught fire. Hope all are okay and wishing him the best. Haven't heard. Some of you fantasy ballers, you want to tell me? Or if any of the Bills coaches are watching. You want to let me know if you heard if Tyreek Hill's playing or not? It does affect the line, I would think. And Gus Frerotte is here. And I'll jump out. Let's start there, Gus. Thanks, man. Good to see you, by the way, and Happy New Year. Bills at Dolphins Sunday. Hey, Buffalo favored on the road here in Miami Sunday night by 2.5. Your thoughts on how this season has come down to this final game of the regular year in the whole league here Sunday night? What are your thoughts?
I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Is to have some equal play so that at the end of the season, it all comes down to one of these big games. And that's why every game is so important. These guys have been playing all year. They're playing 17 games. They're putting in the time. And just to see it come down to Tua and Bill's quarterback. You can help me out with that one.
Josh Allen, yeah.
Josh Allen. And, just to see them go out and battle and these two teams and to think that it's not the Patriots anymore, it's just great to see this ending.
Okay, well, yeah, what are your thoughts on the way the Dolphins have kind of come unraveled a little bit? Like, are you a believer? They're 1-4 against teams with winning records. 1-4. Are teams better than them?
I don't know. My really good friend coaches the receivers there. And, they have been up and down. And I think sometimes they rely too much on their passing game because they have such a strong running game. It's going to be interesting to see what they do against the Bills. You got Mostert and A-Chain back there that they should just be running the ball. I feel like that's going to, and hopefully their defense can hold up against Josh Allen. If I'm playing the Bills, I'm making him run. I'm not letting him throw. I feel like that's a winning combination against the Bills. So we'll see what Coach McDaniels comes up with, but they'll have a good game plan, and I think it's going to be a great way to end the season.
I never forgot that you are a huge fan of Lamar Jackson, so I'm wondering if you're surprised at all that they have locked up the number one seed in the AFC. They got the Steelers in there this weekend. Did it surprise you at all what the Ravens pulled out in this regular season?
It has, because it seems like every year the Ravens go through a lot of injuries, doesn't it? It seems like they always have big injuries. They lost Mark Andrews. Then all of a sudden Isaiah Likely steps in and has been incredible. They've added some receivers, but not they got Odell Beckham, but he's at the end of his game. So it's just been great to see what Lamar keeps doing year after year. And people want to say, well, look at his numbers. They're not what the other guys are and all this, but the guy wins and you can't tackle him. I mean, if you're 1-on-1 with the guy, you're probably not. You don't have a good chance of bringing him down. And he's made some unreal throws. He's reading the field really well. And I think their coach, what they've done with their new coach from their last offensive coach, has really put them in a good place to be well, because their defense has always been good. They always bring in guys that you don't know of, and they play really well. And that whole division just has been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I think they call it the black and blue division for a reason. Carlos in Indianapolis is watching, and he wants to know your take, Gus, on our poll question today, which is who goes further in the playoffs, the Dallas Cowboys or the Miami Dolphins? How would you answer that?
Oh, man, that's a good one. I'd like to say... I'd like to say the Dolphins, but I don't know, because the Cowboys, what have they shown us in the playoffs in the last, 20 years? They get there, they have these incredible teams, they have a lot of talent, but then they get to the playoffs and they lose the big games. And we've seen that in the last couple of weeks from them. So I don't know. I think it's the same thing with Tua, right? We want to see him win that big game against a winning team. What do they do in the playoffs? So for me, right now, talent-wise, I think it's Dallas's defense. And, if I'm going off what everybody always says about the NFL, you have to have a defense to win a championship. And I think Dallas's defense is a little bit better than Miami's.
There you go. I agree with you. And as a Cowboys fan, I certainly hope that you're right. Before we before I pick your brain more, can you tell our audience about alumnimedia.com and the NFL alum and what they're doing in the podcast space?
Yeah, so we built a company called Alumni Media, and right now I have a bunch of guys that have their own channels. We help them build their own channel, build their brand, and we support them on the back end by, all this crazy technology, just like Clark helps you bring all these guys in. We want to give these guys the opportunity to tell their stories. So what we built is basically a Netflix for anybody to go through, scroll through these channels, watch guys come on, do their shows, and the place to kind of view all this content, which everybody's doing. And then we really take that content and help these guys understand how to use social media, because that's a big part of it. So alumnimedia.com, anyone can go there. You can join. We're teaching guys how to have a Shopify account. We're teaching guys how to have a paywall. So if you want to have a private watch party, and let's say that, Bernie Kosar's on there, I'm telling Bernie all the time, hey, you can have a watch party. People can come join it, and it's private, and you let people in that you want, you know what I mean? Like, so there's different ways that our guys can kind of generate revenue and different things like that. And most of them are really excited about it. So alumnimedia.com is right now, it's mostly NFL alumni, but in the future, it's going to be all alumni, baseball, hockey. So any sport, Olympians, it can be for anyone. So that's what we're trying to build. And I'm really excited about it.
I can tell. It's fun stuff. Off the top of your head, can you tell me who's the most popular alumni? Who's got the most viewed show? Do you have those stats?
Well, podcast-wise, so Marcus Ogden, I helped him start podcasting, quite a few years ago, and now his show is top, 0.5% in world globally. Like, he has just been killing. He does a business show and does life coaching and helps people do their own podcast. So Mark, he's Jonathan's brother, and he does a great show. Obviously, anytime Bernie tweets or, get him to go live and talk about what he's doing, Bernie Kosar is one of the names that everybody recognizes from, being in the NFL, and he is just adored by everybody in Cleveland, right? So it's great to see Bernie, and we have incredible shows. Ken Harvey, they have a You're Gonna Know show, which is about the, Washington. We have guys doing the Expressway. They're doing about the Giants, and we have a Packers show. So everybody's a little different, but I would say right now that a lot of people are watching Marcus. People just want good content, and most of the time it's just real content. Our guys are just like I am right now. They can record it. They can do it from anywhere, and they're comfortable. We don't have to put them in a studio, and they actually love it. I actually enjoy it when a guy is in front of his wall at home, and it's all his trophies and things that he accomplished throughout his career. I really enjoy watching those shows when they're doing them from their house.
And as you know, players are good guys like yourself. Like I'm doing a Panthers show here in South Florida on the NHL team. And I asked the people here, who do you want the most on the show? They said, we want Peter Worrell, the 6'7" fighter. I'm like, Peter, can you come on? The fans want you. He's like, yeah, he's there right away. It was great. And the people want to hear from the people that know what they're talking about, the players that have been there. So good for you, man. I love that you're doing that.
Yeah, I want you to interview Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah, well, not easy to get Chucky, I'll tell you that. He's one of them. Until Messi showed up and Tyreek Hill, Chucky was like the most popular athlete in South Florida. I'm telling you, man, they love him. Yeah. They absolutely love him. Hey,
well, his dad, Big Wall, is great.
Media, getting bigger. What is your take on Pat McAfee's success in this perilous trade?
Well, I think that's just it, right? We're not alumni media is about everyone, right? And my goal was to bring everyone in, not have it named after somebody, because if the Mannings don't show up, the whole thing's over, right? Nobody's taking their place. We wanted to create something for everyone to have a voice, to be able to tell their stories. And you never know where that diamond in the rough is going to come from. And Pat, everybody knew him as a punter. They didn't know that probably guys that played with him knew his personality and what he was like. And then all of a sudden he comes on, he's expressing his opinions. He has a great personality on there. People love it. Everybody's watching him, and he just explodes. And that's what that's what my hopes and dreams are. We're going to be bringing people in from all walks of life. You never know who's going to be the next Pat McAfee. And hopefully at Alumni Media, we can find that person. And that can be like that. There's not a million Pat McAfees out there, but hopefully we can help somebody be a Pat McAfee down the road.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him. He's done a good job. I had a small beef back and forth. He took a shot, I thought, at the CFL. It was kind of funny, but he's a good guy. He knows his stuff, and what he's doing is not easy. I'll end it on this. Denver at the Raiders, this whole Russell Wilson saga, you might have a different take on it than most. He's benched. He's getting the bag. What do you see is going on there in Denver with Russell Wilson?
Look, Russell's a competitor. I'm sure he wants to play, but also there's a contract that he signed, that they signed, and they said, okay, how do we get out of this? Well, we bench him, right? It's a business. So I see his side, those side. I mean, he's still making a ton of money, so I'm sure Russell's going to be fine if he walks away. I'm sure if they part ways, that somebody else will want Russell Wilson because he's a good player. He's proven he's a good player, and I don't know about as far as teammate goes. I've heard a lot of things. I haven't been out there in Denver following that. I've followed it maybe through Pat McAfee and what he said about Russell Wilson in his time in the locker room and having his own place. But it's kind of crazy to see. I've been cut from the Dolphins, and I was owed a lot of money, and there's nothing I can do, right? They cut me, and we don't have guaranteed contracts. He has a clause in there, protects him, and how do they get out? They're going to find a loophole, find a way, and that's what they got to do if they know that he's not the future for the Broncos.
So I guess he's not. Great game, crappy business, as they say. Gus, appreciate this. Always fun seeing you, man. All the best in 2024 and to your great family, man. Hope everybody.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I love doing it. I love that you're, talking hockey in Miami and not in Saskatchewan.
How about that?
I like it too. Exactly. All right, thank you, Gus. Appreciate you. Pro Bowler Gus Frerotte from alumnimedia.com. Go check it out. That's the one thing that we know is the audience loves to hear from somebody who knows and has been there. Sports update on the way. Audience takeover the rest of the way. So whatever you'd like to talk about on this Football Friday, we'll do it. We haven't even got to National Championship Monday night. I got some interesting notes on that. Michigan versus Washington. A lot to get to. We're live on Game Plus Television, WQEE Radio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Live.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
I'm Bridget Lequette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
Hi, my name's Logan Stanko.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Football Friday rolls on, and you know what, folks? It's just me and you the rest of the way. You would think 21 minutes to fill is a lot, but it ain't. For a broadcast veteran like yours truly. And I'll read some of the comments from the viewers. We have a sports update that we can get into. Yes, it is paradise, by the way. They call it Winning in Paradise at FAU, Florida Atlantic University, which is just down the road here. It's a great place to talk sports, watch sports, live. It's all good. Ryan in Toronto writes in and says, great interview with Gus Frerotte. Football Friday delivers again. Yes, it does. And I would have to ask Clark, where did we make that connection with Gus Frerotte? Was it not just like out of the blue, Clark? Like a shot in the dark? I don't even remember. He's been that was a Twitter thing. Yeah, this is episode number 1152. And we've been having Gus on for so long, I can't even, like Clark says, remember how it started. I think it just was a shot in the dark. And I'll say this again for you CFL fans. I've said it in the past. Close your eyes and listen to Gus Frerotte talk. And for the love of God, you can't tell the difference between him and Craig Dickinson. The way they talk, the sound of their voice, two really good guys. We just hit it off with Gus. And then I find that really interesting where he mentioned Keith Tkachuk, Matthew's dad, and how they're good friends. That's the one really cool thing about sports. And maybe life too, but I've never been outside of sports my whole life. Just who's friends with who and how. As I go back here and look at Gus Ferrotte's career, somewhere along the line, yeah, here it is. He played with the St. Louis Rams 06-07. If you lined up the careers, can I say that's where Keith Tkachuk was at that time playing for the Blues? I would guess. But Gus played for the Washington Redskins from 94 to 98, which incidentally, sometimes I think it would be a heck of a lot of fun to do 2 hours a day with these guys like Gus or Matthew Barnaby and I. Get along real well, and these are entertaining stories. Like Gus does not like to talk about his time with the Redskins. Doesn't like it. To be honest, I get it. I get that stuff. I've mentioned on this show before, and I know you understand our television audience is a heck of a lot different than our streaming audience for obvious reasons. The television audience, I think, can resonate with this. I don't want to name the guys, but there are multiple guys that are my friends, hockey guys that played for the Leafs that don't want to talk about their time with the Leafs. They've literally said, don't ask me about the Leafs. And that's Harold Ballard era. And I don't even know why, but it's like, okay. And eventually there will come a time, because these guys are all a lot older than me. Gus is only like a year older than me. These hockey guys are quite a bit older, but there'll be a time where I will say, don't ask me about this period of my life. I'm not there yet. I kind of get away with, I don't want to talk about it right now. But yeah, I get it. Anyways, Redskins 94-98, Detroit Lions 99, Denver Broncos 2000-01, Bengals 02, Vikings 03-04, Dolphins here in 05, and the Rams, as I mentioned, and then back with the Vikings in 08, and was in the Pro Bowl in 1996, well, with the Washington Redskins. I just love how he's all excited about the podcast game now. Allie in Texarkana writes in, and she says, I always hate. Sorry, she goes, let's go blue. It was Victoria, BC, who says he always appreciates Gus Frerott's analysis. When the reason she says, let's go blue, and I wonder why that is, Allie, did you go to Michigan? Place line, Ann Arbor, Michigan. Blake Corum declared it was natty or bust before the college football season even kicked off, and reiterated his bold statement before helping Michigan beat Alabama to put the school within a win of its first national championship since 1997. The top-seeded Wolverines feel fortunate to have Corum on their side against second-seeded Washington on Monday night in Houston at the College Football Playoff Championship game. Corum had a season-ending knee injury late last season, limiting him against Ohio State and keeping him out of the Big Ten championship game and national semifinals. The 5'8", 213-pound Corum had 118 yards of offense against the Crimson Tide in the Rose Bowl, scoring the Wolverines' first touchdown and last touchdown in a 27-20 overtime win to put them on the brink of a national title. You want to talk about injuries and, back to that betting game or even, fantasy football, you see why these injury reports are so important. Because I'll tell you, as an Alabama fan here, if Blake Corum doesn't play for the Michigan, which he missed a lot of last season, didn't play in the championship games for the Wolverines. If he didn't play this year, Alabama's in the championship game Monday night. 118 yards offense, 2 touchdowns. Corum was the guy. He was the offense for Michigan the other night. So now they line up against Washington, and that interview, we got a heck of a lot out of it with Jim Barker way back in hour 1, didn't we? We talked about that Monday night game. I feel like he's pulling for Washington. John Ohm, squirrel moment. He says, as a side note, an American ref is part of the crew for the gold medal game. He's talking about the World Juniors, of course, and it's USA versus Sweden. And they're on the ice right now. But you're here to watch and talk about football, right? But I will say this. I think Craig Button said USA and Sweden are the top teams going into this thing. Sam Cosentino said the same thing. And now the two of them are meeting for the gold medal in Sweden as we speak. By the way, reiterating these football topics, there's not a lot of CFL stuff in the winter to talk about. Kudos to the CFL for coming out with quite a bit of it today. Bo Levi Mitchell agreeing to roughly a 50% pay cut to stay with the Hamilton Tiger Cats in 2024. You remember, it's a tough one. I like to take people at their word because you can take me at my word. But it was an emotional Bo Levi Mitchell after the Eastern semifinal last year, or Eastern, was it the final? Or East semifinal for the Hamilton Tiger Cats when he goes, you're not going to play me in the biggest game of the year, kind of tells you what your plans are for me. I thought he was done. And now, money aside, he still didn't play in the game. They still started Schultz and didn't put him in until garbage time. So whether he's making $500,000 or not, or $250,000, what's the difference? You still put the other guy in there. I don't get it, but that's why I'm not a GM or a coach. But anyways, Bo Levi agreeing to a 50% pay cut to stay in Hamilton. Saskatchewan releasing linebacker Derek Moncrief. And I've heard from the Moncrief side that he asked for the release. There's a lot of different ways that's being taken. We've put it on our social media channels, but let's put it this way. It sounded like Moncrief knew he wasn't going to be in Saskatchewan anyways, so he said, can I get my release early so I can start talking to teams ahead of free agency? That's the story that I'm getting and am reporting. And in Edmonton, the Elks are releasing quarterback Taylor Cornelius ahead of a $100,000 offseason roster bonus he's due. That's straight from Three Down, who quoted Farhan Lalji of TSN. The guy's not playing there anyways. Again, how is this shocking to anybody or news? It shouldn't be. But that's what's coming out of the CFL today. Here we go. Allie says, she goes, I wish that she went to Michigan. She goes, I just have always liked Michigan. Plus, Marty Turco went to Michigan too.
How about that?
You know that Marty Turco always reminds me of that story. And I know I've told this story so that Allie could hear it before. But my dad, when he was working for the Dallas Stars, was in the hospital for one of his medical maladies he was having. And Marty Turco just got blown up in the playoffs. I think let in like 5 goals or some bad goal in overtime in the playoffs. And Dad was literally jumping on his bed. He had IVs hanging from him. And they come in to take his blood pressure. I'm like, do you mind? Come back in half an hour once he's calmed down. Otherwise, he's never going to get out of here with what that thing's going to read. And they did, and he was fine. We'll be back with Overtime right after this. We're live on the Game Plus Television Network, WQEE Radio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Live.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Hi, my name's Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
IKS Game Day wishes to congratulate the city of Estevan and Affinity Place on their brand new center ice display. This state-of-the-art score clock features 5 LED faces with full motion graphics, scoring integration, and our new Halo mounting system. If it's time for an upgrade, Let us show you how to deliver the best fan experience. You can find us at iksgameday.com.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Overtime, as always, is brought to you by our good friends at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, where skill and fun collide. Baseball has batting cages. Golf has driving ranges. They have shooting lanes for hockey players. It is an amusement park. I'm telling you, for hockey enthusiasts, head down there. Tell them Rod sent you. 28th Street Northeast in beautiful Calgary, Alberta, Canada, as we are in the throes of hockey season. And I'm about to get to a sports update, which involves a lot of hockey, but because it is a Football Friday, I want to bring in the comments from the audience. Sober Carpenter text line 902-518-3033. Sober Carpenter non-alcoholic craft beers. Ask for them by name at your local beer, wine, and spirit store. From the CFL News, I just ran it all down. It's quick. I can do it again. Bo Levi Mitchell taking a 50% pay cut to stay in Hamilton. Edmonton's releasing quarterback Taylor Cornelius ahead of a six-figure roster bonus due this week. And Saskatchewan linebacker Don Creef, his release. Brian in Hudson Bay, Sask, the Moose capital, writes in, and he says, obviously, Moncrief felt he was getting lowballed in negotiations and got the feeling the Riders were not really interested in him anymore. Making him feel a release would be the best thing for him. The word I got was he asked for the release early so that he could get a head start on dealing with other teams ahead of other free agents when free agency doesn't even begin for another 5 weeks. A sports update. Hockey as promised. Connor Zary, Blake Coleman, Rasmus Anderson, and Yegor Sharangovich each had a goal and a helper in the Calgary Flames' 6-3 victory over the Nashville Predators Thursday night. Nazem Kadri and Noah Hannafin also scored in the Flames' third straight win. Earlier that night, Elias Lindholm was named the Flames rep for the All-Star game. Gabriel Velarde scored the game-winning goal, 3:14 into the third period, and the Winnipeg Jets squeezed past the San Jose Sharks 2-1. Alexander Barabanov had the lone marker for San Jose, who lost their 10th in a row. The Jets All-Star will be goalie Connor Hellebuck. Robert Thomas had a goal and an assist to lead the St. Louis Blues over the Vancouver Canucks 2-1. Thomas named an All-Star for a second straight season. Defenseman Quinn Hughes will be the Canucks rep at the All-Star game. Joey Decord stopped 32 of 33 shots in helping lead the Seattle Kraken to a 4-1 win over the Ottawa Senators. And how about the game of the night in Sin City? Sam Reinhart had a goal and an assist, and the Florida Panthers defeated the Vegas Golden Knights 4-1. Panthers won for the 6th straight game, and goalie Sergei Bobrovsky made 26 saves to win his personal 5th straight start. My guy, Jeff, the hotelier to the Stars, we were texting earlier in the day, and he was saying, big game for the Panthers tonight. And I'm like, yeah, I think the Golden Knights are going to win. The Panthers slapped them around here December 23rd in Sunrise. That was really the revenge for losing in the Stanley Cup final to Vegas. Ryan Lombarg, who they call the Lamborghini, here, one-punched Keegan Kolazar that night, December 23rd. To be honest, I thought Vegas would be out for revenge. Didn't happen. Logan Thompson got lit up in goal for the Golden Knights last night, and Jeff was right. He picked the Golden Knights to lose, Panthers to win, and he was right. And I feel like because of my sports fandom for so many years, I just expect something to go wrong all the time. Always waiting for the next shoe to fall. I need to get over that. Panthers are a damn good team. Vegas has some things to figure out right now. Sports Update is brought to you by Landmark Cinemas. In theaters now, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. When an ancient power is unleashed, Aquaman must forge an uneasy alliance with an unlikely ally to protect Atlantis and the world from irreversible devastation. Starring Ben Affleck, Jason Momoa, Dolph Lundgren, and Nicole Kidman. And also brought to you by Common Crown Brewing Company, turning your everyday common beer into a unique and exceptional experience. Visit commoncrown.ca. We played our NFL Deal or No Deal for Week 18 earlier. We didn't get into tonight's NHL games. I feel like that's taking off, though, don't you? The NHL breakaway bets for Bet Regal, so named by our VP of Sim Events, Nelson. Randy writes in from Strasbourg, home of Nick Schultz, and says, thanks for talking CFL when the league itself doesn't even do it. Next week is the league winter meetings in Nashville. Next week is the CFL winter meetings in Nashville, or maybe we can get some people on from there. I don't know. But what I do know is what we will do what's best for the RP show. Always. Last minute of play. In the RP show today, NHL games tonight, Carolina at Washington. I'll take Carolina to win. Chicago at New Jersey. I'll take New Jersey to win. And Winnipeg at Anaheim. I'll take the Jets to win. That's an easy one. And in the NBA, the Raptors are at Sacramento tonight. I got no idea. I'm not a basketball guy. You all know that. Where did this comment come from? Cole in North Dakota. Oh, he deleted his comment. Were you asked? He says, who do I have? Was it in the national championship game Monday night? We'll talk about it then. We'll talk about it then. Michigan and Washington. Weekend to worry about all the other sports. Enjoy it, everybody. Thanks to Gus Frerotte. Get on the bus, Gus. Thanks to Jim Barker. Have a safe and fun weekend. We'll see you Monday, noon Eastern on Game Plus and The Key.
Who has more fun than us?